Happy Thursday, friends. Welcome to the You Are Worthy Network. It's great to be with you again today. Hope you guys are enjoying all the guests that we've had this week. I can't even remember. I think we've had one every day. I think we had two on Tuesday, and they've all been fabulous. And today will be no different. I just want to remind you guys before we jump in here that you are indeed worthy of love, respect, and success. I hope that encourages you today. I hope you take that with you throughout the rest of the week because it's true. I am excited to tell you about our guest today, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Let me tell you a little bit about Michelle Angiolillo. Michelle is an award-winning certified bank coach and licensed trainer, keynote speaker, and networking ninja. I love that. She has more than 30 years experience in corporate sales and many years in network marketing and direct sales. Implementing Bank, she took her startup company from zero to over $2 million in less than 3 years. Bank saved her relationship with her son. Seeing the power of Bank, Michelle now has found her purpose and her passion. Her mission is to empower the lives of every person she touches and have a ripple effect so many others can learn to live their best life ever, having financial and time freedom and the best relationships possible. Oh my goodness, I've got questions already. Michelle, welcome to the You
Well,
Are
thank you, Steve.
Network.
I'm so excited to be here. I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
Of course, my goodness. I I'm tempted to jump right in, but I'm going to refrain myself and let people get to know you slowly a little bit. So, one of the things I'm really grateful for is as this group has grown, um, people will eventually watch this from Canada, uh, South America, Europe, all parts of the US. So, it's really exciting to watch it grow across the globe. What part of the world are you coming from today?
I am coming from a little town called Harmony, Pennsylvania, just north of Pittsburgh, and it's a very quaint little town.
Harmony, what a name. Is it really quiet? Is it really harmonious like it
It,
sounds?
it is. It is. It's like this big, and I mean, it's just filled with love and harmony. It's a very cool place.
That's so cool. Are the let's see. I know that area. I think you and I were talking before. I know that area general region fairly well. Are you out of flip-flops and shorts up there yet?
No, I mean it's still 80 degrees. It's very weird. It gets cooler at night, but it's very we've been in it like a drought, and I'm really happy because the weather's been fantastic and I can go out and like get a walk in and hasn't rained and I mean it's gorgeous really.
That's so cool. So how far away is where you live in Harmony from Erie?
Erie's about an hour and a half north.
I remember a time, and we won't spend too much time on this, obviously. I remember a time where I happened to be in Erie, Pennsylvania in late October, and it started snowing, and it was freezing cold. Of course, you got the lake right there, but I was like, nope, I'm not staying here long. And this was when I was much younger. This was like a job that I didn't have very long. I was like, nope, I'm heading back to Tennessee. This is too cold, too quick.
Well, yeah, we do occasionally up in Erie. They get the lakefront effect. So they get a ton more snow than we do, but we've had a couple of good ones down here. One time it snowed enormously. I had no snow scraper, so I actually my kids were little, and the only thing I had that could take the like 3 foot snow off my car was a lightsaber. My son's toy lightsaber was in the back. So I was literally trying to get the snow off the car with a lightsaber. It was something to
Did it
see.
did it work?
It did. It was long enough. Like I took it and pulled it all out. Yeah, it was fantastic.
That's funny. I'm going to show my age here. Back in the day, I remember when I didn't have an ice scraper, we would have cassette tapes in the car. and you could use the case to scrape the ice off the
Yeah.
car. You improvise, right?
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Tell us a little bit about your family.
I have two boys, 24 and 22. I've been with my husband, who we've been together like 15 years, I think, something like that. We only got married like 2 years ago. And my husband's originally from New York. My oldest son is in Media, Pennsylvania. So he's in college for psychology and a dual major in criminal justice. And he's doing fantastic. And my youngest, he lives not far from me with his girlfriend. And yeah, that's us. We have a dog named Harlequin. And she's a little old English bulldog, and she's a terror.
Now, it's possible. What'd you say the dog's name was again?
Harlequin.
Harlequin. Is it possible Harlequin will show herself in the hallway?
She may. She may. She makes an appearance every once in a while.
I think I've seen her before. It's pretty
Yeah.
funny. Oh, that's so cool. So tell us about being a bank coach. I would anticipate that there's a substantial amount watching that doesn't even know what that is. So teach us at the ground level. What is a bank coach? What do they do? And how did you get into that?
Wow. Well, bank is actually reverse engineered personality science. So it's actually based in core values and the science of buying behavior. So the woman who created it wrote the book called Why They Buy. Her name is Sherry Tree. And she was trying to solve her own problem with sales. How I fell into this was I worked for corporate for 28 plus years, lost my job, literally had to sell everything I owned, had two small kids, nowhere to go, and I hadn't been paid for a year. So I was literally living on credit cards. I was starving, I was drowning in my own life, and I went and opened a company to help my friends because they had nowhere to go. I hated everything about it. I still wasn't making money. I had to pay payroll with cash advances on my credit cards. And again, like literally just drowning. I ended up going to a conference. I met Sherry Tree, and she did a presentation and she blew me away. And the only thing I could buy was these 4 little magic cards. And you can see they have values on them, and the book called Why They Buy. And I was off to the races because I didn't know what I didn't know. So when you look at bank, every single human has a code, a 4-digit code that we call bank. And each one of these value cards, each one speaks a completely different language, right? So the way I like to explain it is, Steve, do you speak another language other than English?
Not very well.
Okay.
A little bit of Spanish, but not very well.
Okay. So if I came on your interview and I spoke the entire presentation in Spanish, you would only be able to pick up maybe a little bit of it, right?
That's right.
And unless your audience is Spanish, they're not going to understand anything I'm saying. They're just going to tune out. Well, based on your bank code, that's how you also communicate and also listen. And if you don't understand who the person is that you're talking to, that's where the disconnection comes from. So the Chally Group did a survey, and they found out that only 18% of buyers would buy from a salesperson that did not match the buyer's personality type, versus an 82% success rate when personalities aligned, right? So when you look at bank, it was originally created for sales because it unlocked exactly why that person buys and what their values are that drive that buying behavior and how they show up. In the process, what happened was it turned into this whole mission and movement, because not only does it help people in the sales conversation, but it helps them truly understand other humans. So when I learned about bank, I learned that my son is the complete opposite of me. So when you look at bank, blueprints are inside the box. They need things like structure, stability, systems, planning. They plan everything. They're risk adverse. They base things on credibility, budgets. So they follow the rules. Okay. When you look at actions, if actions first, they're the movers, the shakers, the millionaire makers, like little firecrackers in your hands, right? They want fun and freedom and flexibility, spontaneity, action. They take massive action all the time. They drive fast, they talk fast. Yeah, hear them before you see them. You're nurturing. Well, they're all about the love. They recycled the box, made a little Toys for Tots box out of it, and they gave it away. They just want to help the world. It can be hard for them to ask for money. They just want to people please. They value relationships and teamwork, authenticity, personal growth, making the world a better place. And the knowledge, they're like, listen, without me, you wouldn't even have a box. I engineered it. Science, data, research, logic, it has to make sense. It takes them forever to make a decision. What's fascinating is that because all humans and because God made us beautifully, we're made up of all four, which means that there's 24 different combinations that people can show up in, which is why they say sales is a numbers game. Because mathematically it is, unless you match your code. Otherwise, you're just throwing spaghetti noodles at the wall and you're not giving them the information they need or communicating in a way that they understand. So when you take this to a relationship level, it's the same thing. With me and my son, we were completely opposite all the way down the line. We never spoke the same language. I didn't understand what his core values were. I knew everything else about him, except what he needed and how he needed me to communicate for him to feel loved, seen, and understood. And so it would turn to conflict. So when you can understand how the other people see the world, now you can get rid of the judgment and start loving more by understanding just because we're all different doesn't mean we can't communicate and get along. We're just seeing the world differently based on the values that are most important to us.
Whoa. So that's what you mean in your bio when you say bank saved your relationship with your son, because it sounds like, and I don't, please correct me if I'm not accurate with this, but it sounded like because of the different personalities, which happens a lot with parents and kids, that there was some conflict, but it helped to understand him better and vice versa. This was the method that was the avenue of correcting that, right?
Well, absolutely. So my bank code is on my name. I'm ANKB. Action all day, every day. And I truly care about people, right? So every day I showed up in my son's life completely stressing him out. I would show up the fun mom, spontaneous. I never plan anything, right? Let me bust him out from school early and let's go to the toy store. That'd be fun, right? And we get to this toy store. I'd ride around on the little bicycle. I'd shoot hoops. I'd push all the little buttons, cause chaos. Everything's going crazy around us. I'm breaking every rule in the book. Well, his first code is blueprint. He needs somebody who is stable. He needed predictability. He needed me to follow the rules. He needed to know what was next. And I blew every one of his values every single day because of the way I showed up. He thought I yelled. I'm just really passionate about things, right? I talk too fast. He's blueprint knowledge, which means he functions from a head code, not an emotional code. So even when I would hug him, he would freak out. He doesn't like to be touched. Everyone needs to be loved and communicated differently based on their operating system, right?
That's right.
So how many times have parents said, like, I don't even know where you came from. You couldn't have possibly come from me. It's because they're operating on different value systems. It's like opening up your heart, right? What does this person need? Even like he shops at the thrift store. I would never shop at a thrift store. Not that there's anything wrong with it. But I shop at the high-end designer stores. That's how my values are wired. Those are the things that I love, right? I buy and make decisions fast. Like one day I said, hey, you know what? We should move. Let's find a new house. I literally FaceTime my husband from the house. Hey, honey, what do you think? I think this is where we should live. It's just,
Whoa, okay. And so you've been able to use this bank system. It's your business, correct?
correct. I teach and train. I provide a whole system, state-of-the-art technology for people to truly know how to communicate with everyone around them. It saved relationships with couples, with children. It saved a child from suicide.
Hmm. Is the majority of your clientele individual clients, or is there some corporations on that list too?
So we work with both solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, all the way up to enterprise accounts, because people are using it as a communication, right? If you look at 5 key areas, you got business, you got relationships, emotional intelligence, leadership, and it all comes in communication, right? It all comes down to how do you give people the ability to be seen, heard, and understood, give them a voice. If you understand their operating system and what's important to them, then you're able to communicate effectively in any situation. You're able to take your lens off, which is emotional intelligence, right? Know thyself, and take your lens off and see the world through that other person's. Doesn't matter if it's business or personal. Everything's got a code.
How many marriages has this helped?
Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. So, I mean, even myself personally, right? So my husband in relationships, opposites attract and then they attack, right? Because it's that initial piece of, oh, you complete me, until it gets the little things, right? The little things in life.
Mhm.
When you start to see that, like my husband, it takes him forever to buy a new car. He's got to compare pricing from here to New York. If it doesn't have a discount listed, he's not even going to entertain the idea. I wake up one morning and I'm like, you know what'd be good? A new car. And then I send him a picture of it. Look at my new car, right? And those are the types of things that can make and break relationships. Just like with my son, right? I learned that now I have to give him a plan. I have to let him know in advance. I used to ask him, hey, let's go to lunch right now. Let's go. What are you doing? And he would say no. And I would take offense to that. I'd be like, you don't want to hang out with your mom. What did I do wrong as a parent? Blah, 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 blah. Right. Where he didn't feel love because he was like, you didn't give me enough time to plan for it. How can I say yes? I have my whole week planned out, but you didn't respect me enough to even take that into consideration.
Yeah, it sounds like in your household, tell me if I'm wrong, in your household, you're the most spontaneous one.
Oh,
And you would that be accurate?
oh, absolutely.
So you how do you still unleash that and be sensitive to the rest of the household? Does that question make sense?
Well, absolutely. So once you understand bank, right, you're able to literally learn to dance and shift in those codes. And you're able to not compromise, but have an understanding and provide people the things they need to feel safe, secure, loved, heard, right? So, for example, with my husband, prior to knowing bank, I'd be like, we should go on vacation. And then I'd pick like this expensive place last minute and be like, here we go, going away. Where now I say, hey, John, do you think it would be nice to go have a family vacation this year? And he'd be like, yeah, I think we could do that. And I say, well, why don't you let me know what your schedule is? And I'll try to coordinate that with the rest of the family. And what's the budget? And he's like, oh, well, do you think you could do it for this? And I'm like, I could try. He's like, well, how about this? I'm like, you know what? That would be perfect. We could do that, right? With going, so think about vacations with multiple people. It's a lot of personality. Each person wants to do something different. So when you understand what's important to them, you're able to make that an experience for everyone so that you don't come back from that vacation thinking, wow, next year I'm going by myself.
Yeah, that makes sense. So um you're still pretty much taking the lead on it and the initiative with it, but you've involved the rest of the household with it, which is all they ever wanted anyway.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? So it's simple enough for anyone to understand. We even have kids cards where we can crack 3 and 4 year old codes, right? It's simple enough to understand, but it goes really deep. And understanding the entire code is what's important because people can shift in and out of them. Your values, your personality doesn't change, but your values can shift based on the situation. If you're stressed out, typically people go to the third position in their code. And the
Mhm.
last is what they typically stay away from, usually what they need in their life and their business, right? So, like I said, God made us beautifully with all four. The goal is to optimize yourself in all four of those traits. And so that's what we teach people and how to listen and look for those clues.
Does the system, when you're in that process of finding out, your dominant traits, for lack of a better description, uh, does he give a percentage of all four?
So we have a further assessment that will rate people out of 25 points, right? The higher they are above 20, the more optimized. And the closer together the numbers, the easier they go from one to the other.
Mm,
So my A and N are like 1 point apart. So I can go either way. Depends on the situation.
mhm.
My knowledge isn't far behind, but under stress, I go from my heart to my head. I'll get stuck in analysis paralysis. I can't make a decision to save my life. I don't want to be around people. I overthink everything. And I even process my thoughts out loud, which used to cause tension between me and my husband because he would try to solve my problems. Now he knows she's just in knowledge. I'm just gonna
Uh,
let her go so we don't get into an argument,
the dynamics are fascinating for sure.
right?
Mhm. So, what would be next in your world of bank? Is it keep on keeping on? Is there something new that you can give us a teaser about? Or maybe it's, I don't know. What's new in the world of bank?
Oh wow, we have so much. So Sherry Tree, she's an innovator, one innovator of the year. So we have state-of-the-art technology. We actually infused ChatGPT with Bank. So it actually writes and whose ever code you want to write for. So like even on social media, like everything has a code, right? So who are you attracting? That's one of our big launches that we just did about, well, probably like a year ago, 2 years ago. And the other thing is we're on a mission. We're truly on a mission to connect and empower humanity. Let's face it, things are a little crazy out there and people are disconnected.
Hmm.
And this is a way that we truly believe that we can change the world. So we have certified trainers that are joining our mission and movement all over the world, where we're able to truly bring this to people in schools. We have a nonprofit where we actually go into schools and nonprofits and gift our trainings so that we're able to give people the tools they need to stop judging and start loving more, start truly connecting and building real relationships so that they can put all the differences aside. Let's come together and just love on each other.
Yeah, I love that. It was Mother Teresa that said, if you spend all your time judging people, you'll have no time left to love them.
Yeah.
Pretty impactful comment. Um, so I'm curious, Michelle, we read in your bio how you increase sales rapidly through your company. And, we also know, from what I read earlier, you're a keynote speaker. You've had great success with Bank. It sounds like Bank's been this is probably way understated, but it's been a tremendous blessing, both business wise and personally for you and your family. Um, I'm guessing, like most people, there was a time in your life where you didn't feel so worthy of love, respect, and success. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, my whole life.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I grew up in a house totally, I didn't realize it, totally different bank codes. I never had a voice. I never felt heard. I started running away when I was like 12 years old. Didn't speak to my parents for a really long time. Um, Everything I tried, I basically felt like I failed at. So I just kept falling down and falling down, right? It's not how many times you fail or fall down, it's how many times you can get back up.
Yep.
And I believe truly that God has a purpose for all of us. And sometimes we have to get to the darkest point in our whole life to figure out why we're here and to push us out of our comfort zone to do what we're put on this earth to do. So I've been through, I mean, I've been through so much in my life. Um, and I never felt worthy. And one of the biggest ahas I had when I started with Bank is I had no idea what I signed up for. I signed up to increase my sales because I wanted to sell my business. And what I got from it, you couldn't put a price on it. And the first big takeaway was I'm not broken. I understand myself. And that was something that I never had. And I can look back at every relationship I've ever had, and I understand now it's not personal, it's personality. We just didn't see the world through the same lens.
Now, when you say that, Michelle, I feel free to comment as little or as much as you want. Are you referring to your parents when you say broken personalities were different? Is who are you referring to specifically?
Oh, yeah, big time my parents, my my whole family. But every relationship, I can now look back at every conversation I had in every relationship and see what went wrong and what went right. Right? You can see it through the lens of the other person. Oh, wow, I see how there was that misunderstanding or how there was that huge argument. So, Steve, let me ask you, like, have you ever had 20 minutes of time where you spent arguing with somebody? And then at the end of that argument, you were like, that's what I was saying in the first place.
Of course.
Everybody has, right? Well, it's because you're coming from different codes. And what one language is speaking French and the other one speaking German, and it's just a clash of the codes.
So what was it, Bank specifically, that you contribute a lot of your healing to? Or was
Oh,
it other
absolutely.
factors? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. If it weren't for Bank, I would not have had a relationship with my mom and got to spend the last year with her before she passed.
Mm,
It was the first time that we ever were able to truly understand each other and just see how we actually showed up and we were able to come together and truly connect.
so yeah, this is interesting dialogue. I'm sure it's not 100% when you get personalities involved. There's a lot of margin for error. But what I'm hearing you say is Bank is a major tool in reconciliation of relationships.
Oh, absolutely. We have one trainer. She actually could not have a relationship with her brother at all. And she became a certified trainer and she's lived with him for several years. Like they live together now. They didn't speak the majority of their life.
Mm,
And now they're able to have a relationship and even live in the same house.
well, yeah, and I mean, you've already given an example, close to your heart, your mother. Um, that's what a blessing that you had that last year of her life.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about what you like to speak about on stage. I'm sure there's a variety of topics that you have. Is bank in that talk somewhere?
Yeah, it's pretty much all about bank. It really is the foundation for anything, right? So I talk about sales, I talk about relationships, communication, leadership, um, empowering yourself and others, emotional intelligence, all of those different topics.
If somebody wanted to find you, and we'll include all your social media links in the description, but where would somebody learn more about you and what you do?
They can find me on any social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, reach out. My contact info is everywhere, and I try to be everywhere.
Okay. So if I wanted to go hear your last keynote talk, could I find that on YouTube?
Oh, yeah, probably. I'm sure it's there somewhere.
I want to thank you for being so joyful, so enthusiastic, and so vulnerable to my network. It's been a lot of fun having you and listening to you talk about bank. It's certainly, the passion comes very, very forefront from your heart. It's very clear, and we appreciate you sharing that. What words of encouragement would you leave the viewers with today?
My words of encouragement are together we can change the world. So go out there and start loving more and judging less. Every single bank code is important, and all of you are important and worthy. So let's show some kindness and show some love, and let's make this world a better place.
Love it, Michelle. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It has been a pleasure.
Guys, you saw just like Michelle's life, there was that season of feeling broken, a season of feeling unworthy. But God wasn't done with Michelle yet, and he's not done with your story yet either. Hang in there, don't give up, and you are worthy of love, respect, and success. I am grateful for each and every one of you. Super, super grateful. Thank you for tuning in. You guys are the ones that make the network what it is. I appreciate you. Until next time, God bless.